Oh, yo, what's good? It's me, buddy. Go get my new album, Harlan and Alondra. Go check out the flick with me and Nick on Hard Knock TV.
Hey up there, I'm on my way up. Tell the radio to play us. Blame it on the place I grew up. Hit that landmine, then I blew up.
Ooh.
So I always like to start interviews with, if there was a movie about your life, kind of like a biopic. You know, that intro sequence kind of is coming over Compton, and it's going into your childhood home. What are we seeing? What are we hearing? What are we smelling?
In my childhood home, entrance, Compton, slow zoom. You see my living room. You smell ghetto sandwiches, syrup sandwiches, pieces of toast with syrup on them, buttered syrup. You hear Baby Kids, the movie, on the television. You know, you see an old ass computer, family photos, and then we go into the kitchen. Then we go out into the backyard with the swing set and my name and graffiti. And we got like a jungle gym over here because we had a daycare at the time. When I was growing up, my dad had a daycare.
You like ran the daycare out of the home?
Out
dope.
of the crib.
Dope.
We was watching other niggas' kids.
What was coming to the speakers?
Gospel music, hip hop, R&B, soul, jazz every now and then.
I read the church kind of played a big role in your childhood. Tell me a little bit about that.
I grew up in the church. My uncle was the pastor. My dad was a preacher. He pastors the church now currently. And I have a really good connection with God. I grew up in the choir. That's where I initially started singing and got comfortable being in front of an audience. Then I started acting shortly after. My parents put me in the AGC conservatory to keep me out of street activities. And we learned how to act, sing, and dance, did theater productions. And then I got even more comfortable being in front of an audience and just wanted to stay entertaining.
What's your first musical memory that you can remember?
We did The Wiz. It was like The Wizard of Oz, but the ghetto version. We was in an ensemble. We had to learn a whole little hip-hop dance. And I got it. You know, when you first learn and you like looking at the steps and then the arms and then you go. But then we shot it, filmed it, everybody together doing the choreography. And I was hitting that shit, you know? And I was probably like one of my most fun first initial memories, just like group ensemble dance moves, like choreography, learning choreography.
How old were you at that time?
I was probably like 7, 8.
Okay. Did you know at that point you wanted to be an artist, or what was the moment where you're like, I want to do this for a living?
I never really thought about a living, so, I wasn't super aware of like making money and paying bills and living life. I was still a kid, so it was kind of just fun. But then the conservatory itself needed bread to like fund the plays that we was putting on. So we had a fundraiser, talent show, showcase, and all the kids had to come to the stage with a talent, and we sold tickets and, help raise money for costume design, stage design. And I got thrown in this rap group, and we made a song about pro clubs. And I was rapping on stage. I was like, oh, this is tight. I'm trying to just do rap songs. Started making rap songs. Didn't stop acting potentially, but I just, did some other fun stuff. Then we got songs and started performing, rapping by myself, and just kind of kept going.
For those that aren't from the West Coast, might not be familiar, pro clubs were like the white tees that were sold at like every...
The collars was like...
crispy.
The crispy collars. Yep. And then in school, it was this thing, if somebody come through and rip your tag off, then it was unauthentic because It didn't say pro club.
Yep.
It would be the bullies would come and rip the pro club tag off the back of your shirt, and that was like a big sign of disrespect.
Around that time, I was working a lot of the mom and pop record stores, like VIP and Vision and all that stuff. And I think they were selling more pro clubs than they actually were music at those stores. Because people were just coming in and just let me get the triple XL white pro clubs.
You wear a white pro club with a black pro club over it, so you can see the outline of the white collar under the black one. And then they have pro club jackets. They was reversible. The inside would be thermo camouflage.
I had pro club jackets? I never saw those.
Oh, I was real committed to the pro club era.
I definitely had a lot of pro club tees back in the
draws.
day.
I had pro club draws, tank top.
What?
Yeah,
I missed out on all the rest of the line. It was just shirts for me.
My boxers was like pro.
Did you know back then that you would make it to this point?
No, I didn't. I didn't know I would make it to this point. I never really had no 10-year plan, 5-year plan.
Right.
I kind of had an audition this day. I wrote a song one day when I was bored. Talent show over here, show over here. It's kind of just current events.
How did your music get to Scott Benner? I actually worked with P and Scott on Other Tone for a couple of years.
My manager at the time was Andrew Shack, and he was good friends with Scott Benner. Introduced me. I became good friends with Scott, played in my music, and Scott introduced me to Pharrell. Played him my songs, and he signed me to I Mother. Flew me to Miami, started making me a bunch of beats.
You were 15 at the time?
Yeah, 15, 16.
Like, what's going on through your head when you're flying to Miami?
I'm just like, I'm not doing my homework. Fuck that. I'm definitely not doing my homework tonight.
Awesome comes out. I think you're 18 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You got P sitting on the house for the video and stuff.
Yeah.
You're starting to get buzzed. As a young kid, like, what's going on through your mind?
I'm about to drop out of college. I don't want to go to school no more.
So you're in college at the time.
Yeah,
like
when Awesome came out,
yeah.
I got my little Camry, and I'm driving from Compton to go to Santa Monica to not go to class and smoke at the beach. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, this don't make sense. I'm wasting gas. I'm not learning nothing. And I got a song out with Pharrell on my roof. I'm about to just not go to school no more. That's what's going through my brain.
I see the video. I'm like, yo, this kid's like one of the hottest to come out right now. You're in the studio at the time with like Miley Cyrus and Robin Thicke and K-Dot at the time. Like before even K-Dot like really like fully had blown up.
Uh-huh.
Like what were those years like?
It was very frustrating, you know, because all these people was way more cracking than me. They had way more individuality, recognition in the industry, you know what I mean? All the names you listed, I wasn't in that group of names. I was like Pharrell's protege, you know what I mean? So trying to really just like get my own identity in the industry and just like make curate a sound for myself that people resonate with rather than getting out of the shadow of Pharrell and becoming Buddy by my damn self, you know?
Is that a challenge when everybody around you is like, yo, you're signed to a superstar and obviously, you know, he has his own sound that he's famous for. And then, you know, you're a young kid at the time trying to figure out what your sound is. What was that like?
A bunch of studio hopping, spinning my wheels, driving from studio to studio, working with a bunch of different producers because Pharrell wasn't just working with me all the time. He was working with everybody all the time. And I had to go, you know, really find my sound because like the songs I made with Pharrell, it was like star-studded. You know, we got Pharrell beats, Pharrell rapped on the track, Robin Thicke singing over here, Miley Cyrus was over here. It kind of just like was like overcrowded. It didn't really show too much of myself. It kind of just showed like the cool people I got to hang out with and make songs with, you know. So I really had to dig deeper into expressing myself and, you know what I mean, getting people to understand me as an artist.
Other than finding a sound, what were some of the other like lessons that you learned or kind of like experiences that stood out from that time?
Just having the opportunity to see all these people make albums. I got the opportunity to see Pharrell make a couple albums. I seen BJ the Chicago Kid when he was making his album. Nipsey Hussle when he made his album. So just like hanging out with people who lead by example and then just implemented my own influence into what I do and just like keep going, you know?
Idle Time comes out a little while later, kind of a mixtape with a lot of the tracks that you're talking about. Actually, I found out that part of it was mastered here, so Small Ass World. One of my favorite tracks on that is Staircase. Is that the track with K-Dot?
Yeah.
Tell me about like what it was like for y'all to link back then and how that track came about.
It was tight. Pharrell was working with me and the whole TDE walked in. Like we had just finished cutting Staircases and it was something missing, like a second verse or something. I was still wrapping my head around how features work and how you need a bigger name attached to get something on a higher, you know? So I'm wrapping my head around like the business side of it and how much fun I'm having being here and young. And then like, you know, TDE walks in, fucking Top Dog, Schoolboy Q, Absol, J-Rock, everybody, Dave Freak, they just all flood in. Bunch of Compton niggas. And I'm just like, you know, 1, 2. So I'm like, hey, what up? We chilling. And then Pharrell played the song we just did, looked at K-Dot and was like, you trying to rap on this? He hopped in the booth and it was just like this. Rapped his verse.
Good Kid hadn't come out by then yet, or had it?
I don't know. I forget. Somewhere in that time.
Yeah. Did you guys know each other back then? Or was it the first time?
I met him just then.
Okay.
I didn't ever meet K-Dot in Compton. I met him in the studio, bro.
Have you guys had a chance to like build throughout the years, or that was just kind of like a special
He
moment?
busy. That was a special moment. That nigga doing a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm going to see him when I see him.
He's busy running the game right now.
He's killing it.
Did you know back then? Did you see when he was rapping? You're like, okay, he's got something special. Like,
when I first got introduced to Kendrick, I thought it was so tight because he was doing exactly what I wanted to on a higher scale. I always would watch his videos, listen to his raps, and be like, wow, I'm trying to do this.
with this album, you're definitely doing this. We're going to get to this album. Let me keep back in track and make sure that we go through all this stuff. Idle Time. You finally put out like a group of music. Like, what's going on through your mind at that time?
Nobody from the label approved this. Ain't no rollout plan. Ain't no plan for tour. Ain't no budget for music videos. Ain't no nothing. I'ma just tweet this out. Ain't nobody really listening to this.
For spending so much time working on it, how are you feeling?
I need to make some more songs. I need a rollout plan. I need a budget for videos. I need a tour plan. I need to get the most out of projects and music that I put out into the world rather than just having it out.
The next big project that you put out, was that the project with K-Tronada? You moved too, I think, right? Is that why the project's called
Ocean, Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved to Santa Monica. I had a roommate, the homie Brian. Shout out to Brian. And we were standing at the beach. It was right across the street from the beach. I'm like waking up, walking to the beach, sitting on the sand, reading books, meditating. I'm riding my bike, skateboarding. I start baking. We doing dinner parties, cookouts, and it's just like a young adult beach vibe. It was like almost surreal. Like the beach is so like you already made it. I got money, and I'm like spending too much money that my shit is depleted. You know what I'm saying? So like I had to really just like, go hard. I would be driving from Santa Monica to all these different studios. I got beats from K-Tronada. I was just working with an engineer, just getting those songs out. I probably had 2 sessions with him face to face where we actually worked together, and it was just tight. It just seemed super current, something completely different from the last thing I put out. And I had a smooth transition from I Am Other to RCA. So I had a whole new platform, and we had a bunch of plans to roll it out and do shows. And we shot some music videos. We had a nice budget. I was working with Andy Hines, who shot me some amazing visuals. Everything just made sense. It was more put together and organized, and it was a team effort rather than just me having songs that I wanted to put out. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. During that time, was there any point that you were so frustrated with the industry where you're like, I'm going to quit? Or like, did you ever have any of those? Or what kind of kept you going through those like moments of like, I keep making dope music, what's going on?
No, I never wanted to quit. I always wanted to just like, clear my debt with the court, pay all my tickets, and just like, make sure I had toilet paper at the crib, and make sure my home base was straight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always making sure, like, I'm good and a good energy to make the music that I do make.
What gave you that confidence that everything was going to be okay?
I got new management, strong team around me of people who have my best interest at heart and help me to do exactly what I wanted to do.
The K-Tronada project comes out, a lot of great acclaim. Shine comes out shortly after. That like starts to like get like a lot of buzz, starts to get picked up. Is that kind of like a breakout song for you, or?
Yeah, I feel like Shine came out before Ocean and Montana.
Okay.
And everybody liked it. It was super tight. It was it really felt like myself. People would listen to it and be like, oh man, I hear this song and it sounds like you. You know what I mean? So like I feel like I depicted who I am on the record really nicely. And it was a good time. I was working with Mike and Keys at the time. They made that beat with DJ Khalil. He's a legend. And it kind of just was on my mind when I heard the beat. Kind of just stepped up into the mic and those words came out,
What were you thinking when you made that song?
How good everything is through all adversity, Ain't nothing ever going to be perfect. It'll just be a lie. So, like, you know what I mean? Everything is cool because at the time I was doing exactly what I wanted to be doing. I had amazing beats, working with cool producers, my friends, and I was just in a good place with myself and the world, you know, and I knew all the problems and issues that I had in my life, but it wasn't that big of a deal when I was like recording the song, you know what I mean?